Have you ever noticed how things can feel perfect at first? The conversations flow. She seems interested. The connection feels natural. And then suddenly, something changes. She replies slower. She feels more distant. The emotional warmth starts to fade. Most men describe this moment the same way. It was going great until it wasn't. And the confusing part is this: nothing obvious went wrong. No argument, no betrayal, no clear mistake. So the mind starts searching for answers. Did I say something wrong? Did I not do enough? Or did I care too much? Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never talk about. Emotional distance rarely appears because of one action. It forms because of how emotional closeness is experienced internally. In this video, we're going to break down why emotional pullback often happens right when things seem to be getting closer. Not from dating advice, not from manipulation tactics, but from psychology. When emotional distance appears, most men react in the same way. They try to fix it. They send longer messages. They check in more often. They explain themselves. They try to be more available, more consistent, more reassuring. On the surface, this seems logical. If connection is fading, adding more effort should bring it back. But here's where the misunderstanding begins. Emotional closeness is not created by increasing contact. And attraction doesn't respond to effort the way we assume it does. What many men interpret as showing care is often experienced very differently on the emotional level. Instead of safety, it can start to feel like pressure. Instead of connection, it can feel like expectation. This is why men often say, "The more I tried, the worse it got." Not because caring is wrong, but because emotional systems respond to signals, not intentions. And when emotional signals shift, the response shifts with them. To understand why this happens, we need to look at how emotional closeness is actually processed, especially from the female emotional perspective. Emotional closeness is often misunderstood. Many people assume that more closeness automatically creates more safety. But psychologically, those two are not the same thing. Emotional safety is not about proximity. It's about how someone feels inside the connection. When emotional safety is present, closeness feels natural. There is space to breathe, space to choose, space to respond freely. But when emotional pressure appears, that same closeness begins to feel different. Messages feel heavier. Expectations feel unspoken but present. Silence starts to feel risky instead of neutral. This is the point where emotional systems begin to protect themselves. Not consciously, not logically, but emotionally. Distance becomes a form of regulation. From the outside, it can look confusing. She said she wanted closeness. She said she wanted connection. But what she was responding to was the feeling of emotional safety, not the increase in emotional demand. This is why emotional pullback often appears right when things seem to deepen. Not because closeness is wrong, but because the emotional signal underneath it has changed. Here's where the emotional interpretation becomes important. Closeness and expectation may look similar from the outside, but they are processed very differently internally. Closeness feels like choice. Expectation feels like obligation. When emotional closeness is experienced as a choice, it strengthens attraction. It allows emotions to move freely. It creates warmth and curiosity. But when closeness begins to feel expected, the emotional response shifts. The nervous system doesn't ask, "Is this person good or bad?" It asks, "Do I still have emotional freedom here?" When that freedom feels reduced, even slightly, distance starts to form, not as punishment, not as manipulation, but as a way to restore emotional balance. This is why emotional pullback often happens quietly. There is no confrontation, no clear explanation, just less emotional availability. From the outside, it looks like confusion. From the inside, it feels like regulation. Here's the shift most men never notice. Attraction doesn't fade because closeness increases. It fades when emotional space disappears. Emotional space is what allows desire to exist. It's the space where curiosity forms, where emotions move by choice, not by pressure. When a man becomes emotionally centered on the outcome, needing reassurance, needing clarity, needing stability, the emotional dynamic quietly changes. The connection starts to revolve around emotional certainty instead of emotional flow. And this is where many men unknowingly reverse the polarity. Not by doing something wrong, but by making emotional closeness feel required rather than invited. This is why pulling back emotionally often restores attraction more effectively than pushing forward. Not as a tactic, not as a game, but because emotional systems respond to space. When space returns, emotional safety returns. And when emotional safety returns, attraction has room to reappear. So when emotional distance appears, the question is rarely, "What did I do wrong?" The more accurate question is, "What emotional signal is being felt right now?" Attraction isn't sustained by effort alone. It's sustained by emotional safety, choice, and space. When closeness feels free, connection deepens. When closeness feels required, distance becomes the regulator. This isn't about pulling away as a strategy, and it's not about suppressing emotions. It's about understanding how emotional dynamics actually work beneath the surface. Once you see this structure clearly, many confusing relationship patterns begin to make sense. If you want deeper explanations on emotional attraction and attachment dynamics, I've shared more details in the description below.